What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Hustle Huddle. And I'm here with my boy,
Christian Roddy.
and my boy,
Jesse Masson.
yes, sir. So tell them where you been at, Jesse.
I was at the Keys.
If y'all don't know, that's
go ahead.
the Florida Keys.
It's the Florida Keys.
He bougie like that. I think that's where Kim Kardashian lost her earring, right?
Huh?
Her earring was it in the Keys where
the
she's
Keys?
like, "Oh my God, my diamond earring," and then her sister's like, "Courtney, people are dying, and you're crying about your diamond earring." She's like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Isn't that where it's at? No.
I have no idea what
well,
you're talking about, but
fact
I
check
was
me.
in the Keys.
Nice.
Yes,
How was it?
went to. It was beautiful. It was amazing.
Did you do anything?
Yeah. What did we do? We did a bunch of stuff. Went out. We showed up in Miami first, which was awesome. I've never been out in Miami, so that was like my first time, which was really fun.
Fire.
Um,
Oh, I know. It was fun. I saw it.
It's very fun. Then went to Key West. Nothing like it. It's just a party island, pretty much, is what it is, with a bunch of chickens running around.
Oh, bro. Isn't it crazy when you see
Yeah.
chickens running around? Bro, they have that in Hawaii all the time. Just
Kinda
fucking
nice.
chickens everywhere,
I
bro.
wish there were more if you could replace pigeons with chickens, you would.
I feel like I would
100%.
too. Yeah.
I don't really have a pigeon problem.
No, yeah. There's not a pigeon problem out here.
I guess you're right.
That's like a East Coast thing.
Wake up, get a couple fresh eggs, chilling on your lawn.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm eating no
No, I'm just
eggs
playing.
on the lawn like that, but
No, I see like a couple seagulls now and then, but
yeah, we have seagull problem.
Yeah, you're right.
That's our
Replace
problem.
the seagulls with the chickens. That would be a vibe.
that's
it's
fucking
it's
weird.
a different.
I'm
it's
on a beach.
It's actually kind of cool
It's
because,
a nice vibe.
bro.
It makes you feel
when
like-
did I tell you about the time when I went to Hawaii and I saw this chicken on the beach? Bro, no, bro. So get this
What's
right,
that movie, Moana?
bro. Dead no, it was that movie with the chicken that surfs.
Oh, you're talking about Surf's Up. I was
yeah,
talking about
Surf's Up.
Moana where she had the little weird
yeah,
chicken.
same thing. But bro, this chicken, bro, living a better life than me because like we're on the beach, right? And he like coming out the water glistening, like feathers flapping, and I'm like, yo. And he like walked up and then just like chilled on the rock and like sunbathed. I was like, that's the life.
Oh my god.
It was fire. And then there are chickens everywhere though.
Everywhere.
On Hawaii, yeah. I didn't know they
nice.
were over there though.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, it makes it feel more tropical. To be
Yeah,
honest.
it does. I was gonna say that makes you feel like you're not in Florida.
Until you're around chickens next to a beach, you don't know what we're talking about.
Nah, yeah, it makes you not feel like you in Florida
Yeah.
in America at least.
It
True.
makes it feel more tropical, bro. What?
it don't
Makes
make
me
you
feel
feel-
like I'm on the farm. What's
It
happening?
don't, nah. When you chilling on the block and you see a chicken walk by, that's some like tropical out of America shit. That's not no farm life.
I
When you at the
guess.
gas station and you see chicken walk by, that's not farm.
It's what in the ghetto?
That's not farm. That's tropical vibes.
All right. Well, what else?
So that
Tell
was
me there was
cool.
more to the Keys than chickens.
The chickens, yeah, that we went jet skiing. That was fun.
nice.
All the normal excursion stuff, but really just kind of going out during the night and just having fun. It was fantastic. Was there with family, so
That's dope.
it's a nice week to just kind of decompress.
How long were you out there?
A week.
Week. Yeah. So you just went out every night for a week straight. Y'all didn't do activities.
Yeah.
This was a groomer for a week.
Yeah, and Key West, it was mostly just going out, hanging out, eating food. Oh, we were staying in this Airbnb right underneath a like a super authentic Cuban food place.
I bet that's fire.
Amazing. Their Cuban sandwich.
Kinda jealous.
Are you guys into?
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
God, it was amazing. It was the best Cuban I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, I'm a little upset.
Entire
I'm
life.
not gonna lie to you. I kind of want that.
It was awesome.
Sounds fire.
So yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Oh.
So drinking and Cuban sandwiches.
Yes.
And jet skis
Yeah.
and chickens.
Hey, that's the
For a
authentic.
week.
Yeah, that's
authentic,
cool, bro. Come on, that's fire. That's a great little vibe.
It was amazing.
What'd you do?
Hey,
For real, what did you do?
me? Oh, I got golfed twice. Once with you out at Native Oaks, and then with a couple other people from work at Twin Oaks, place where we do like our little annual charity tournament. But it was good. It was good. It was a little going away round for one of my other buddies who's gonna go take over the Dallas market, and then with you, that was just a little practice.
Hey, I drove the green.
Sheesh.
Just for everyone that's listening, I drove the green. Missed my eagle putt, but I got birdie though.
Hey, that's all that matters. That was actually crazy yet, but you drove that a little uphill.
It was like
About
290. Yeah, it was like
But
296 uphill.
Uphill, so I'd probably say that
was
carried
like
that could
300
have
for
carried
sure.
over 300. But the crazy thing was like, bro, that was pin height, like right there. That was crazy.
It was right there too. I was so upset. I was like, God damn. It's literally like I could like put my putter down and it was like damn near that close.
Damn.
It was like maybe if I put my driver down, it was like that far apart. I was a little fucking upset.
Yeah, that was wild.
Damn near got a hole in one. If it would just roll down that little hill a little bit more, bro, I'd have been right there. But yeah, it was wavy.
It's moments like that that keep you playing golf.
Facts. That's a fact.
Sure. But about your travel experience, Jesse, how is it traveling now, like in a post like COVID environment? I know some people maybe are wondering, like, how is traveling? Are there still a lot of regulations? Or is it pretty chill? Like, could you
None at all.
You
It felt like normal life, to be honest with you.
Hey, there you go. That's
No masks, no nothing.
Yeah, it's weird because like when I went to New York, there was no mask or anything, and like I just felt like I should have been wearing a mask, even though like I was on the plane and I was like, someone got it on this.
Yeah.
I could feel
Until you
it.
show up to New York and then there's all of the masks.
Everyone,
everywhere.
bro. And I was like, my throat a little scratchy on this plane. I could feel it. Feel it growing in there. But yeah, it was still pretty cool though.
Yeah, super normal. Super normal. So if you want to go and travel right now, like you're not running into issues like that.
How was the water out there?
Oh, beautiful, man. Gorgeous. Gorgeous water. Depends on where you're at. There's brown water and then there's like
The fuck?
light blue water.
Brown
and then
water.
there's real light water.
I knew he was in the ghetto.
It's in
Brown water,
That's where the chickens swim.
Ew.
Yeah, no, beautiful, man. And then driving, I'm assuming you guys are familiar with the Keys. It's just like one straight road.
I go there every summer. Yeah.
Of course I've been there.
It's literally one road that goes through
Never been there.
all the different like keys. Is pretty much what it is, because there's like Key West, there's Key Largo. There's like I think there's like over like 50 keys.
Bro, I don't know.
Alicia Keys. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Dad joke.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, but yeah, I was asking about the water because I know different sea creatures try to live in different areas. So like, I was wondering if it was like warm or anything like that. Because wasn't there a shark sighting out there, like the biggest shark ever?
Biggest shark. That shit's like 20 feet long.
Didn't see the shark.
Thank God.
Hell,
Didn't see the
God.
shark.
Bro, 20-foot long shark?
That's a problem.
That's fucking...
Problem.
That's crazy. That's like a little bus.
That
That's
was,
insane.
that was crazy. Yeah, you sent that to me, right, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah. How big was it?
It was 20 feet long.
Jesus Christ.
And they said it was estimated at like 50 years old, like one of the oldest sharks and then one of the biggest sharks. And it was like 2.5 tons. It was, bro, it's basically a little bus swimming at you, bro. Imagine a little bus with like 300 teeth.
And this was like a great white, not like a whale shark.
No, this is a great white.
Jesus
this is like
Christ.
the biggest great white sighting that they've seen in like
Where was
a
it
long
at?
time. It was in Florida, but I don't know exactly where.
You dodged the bullet, Jesse.
Bro, that's crazy, bro. The fact that shit is coming up like just to get seen for a little bit, like that needs to go back to wherever it was at, wherever Godzilla's at. It needs to go back with him.
But
That's
outside
crazy,
of
though.
that, so that was Jesse's week. You asked me about my golf a little bit. You drove the green, apparently.
Apparently,
I'm
motherfucker,
just
you were
kidding.
there
he drove the green. It was great. I was low key heated. It was fantastic.
because he tried to drive the green and he didn't make it. I thought he did, but he didn't make it.
Now this, all right.
Hey,
But
about 30
what else been
yards
going
short.
on? What else been going on in your week?
Nothing, bro. I'm about to go to the Padres game tomorrow. They're playing the Twins, so I'm kind of hype. I'm just gonna go get a baseball bat, a beer, and just chill. So that's exciting. Other than that, I'm trying to think of what we got. It's August now, so brand new month, brand new budgets, brand new stuff to worry about. So I'm excited for this month because I feel like there's a lot going on this month that's getting me hype. Because one, we're going to the races as a company. Two, I have my leg sleeve at the end of the month, so I'm hyped for that. Three, what else? There's a movie coming out that I want to see this month that looks really good. Oh, Dragon Ball Z. I'm excited for that. And four, there's something else that's getting me hyped for this month, and I just can't remember. But this is going to be a good month.
It's a good month? You were just hyped on it? Hey,
I was looking forward to August this whole time.
August is a good month.
Hey.
As far as the leg sleeve,
Yay.
I know you had a consult around your birthday, didn't you?
Yeah.
Damn. I
know.
didn't know you pulled the trigger on that.
Oh, I pulled that motherfucker.
What are you going to put on you?
So I'm getting like a Japanese, not Japanese traditional, because there's like Japanese traditional, and then there's like just like I'm getting like more Japanese realistic, on my leg. That's like the type of style of tattoo is like realistic tattoos. Like all these are like realistic tattoos, but they're like Egyptian realism. I don't know how the fuck to say that. Anyways, but it's gonna be like Japanese realism. So it's gonna be samurai on there, a temple. I'm gonna probably have a geisha on there. It's gonna be pretty dope.
Nice.
I'm hyped, and it's gonna go all the way up my leg. So
how long is that gonna take?
I have no clue. It literally just depends on how quick she is and how like in definition she wants to go into, and then also how much like empty space she wants to put.
Yeah.
So like how much contrast she wants to put on like my leg. So it all depends. So it's going to be for sure a couple sessions because it's going to be my whole leg. So it'll probably take like at least 4 or 5 sessions.
Man, that's crazy.
But yeah, she's dope. She's going to obviously hook me up with a discount because like prior client, she's the one that did these two. And then also she gives like military discounts out too. So that's pretty dope.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I'm hyped for that at the end of this month.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Hopefully August is like a really good month. Got a couple things to look forward to. I've already golfed 3 times, so that means month's starting pretty strong for me.
Yeah. You got to keep golfing at Twin Oaks for sure.
Oh, for sure.
I got to get that course dialed.
Sheesh.
By the time Helping Hands comes around.
I guess maybe on the not so good segment, a lot of people maybe have heard that we might be officially in a recession, depending on where you get your definition from.
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia? Damn, that was crazy. There was a post I saw. It was Wikipedia's definition of a recession got changed 41 times.
That's crazy.
In one day.
In one day? No way. Motherfuckers just in there. Nah, it's not true.
Yeah, not true.
Yes, it is. No, it's not.
You got stock traders like, no.
That's crazy, bro.
But so I guess that could be a little bit of bad news, depending on, I guess, what side you're on with that. I guess one of the pros possibly with that is in San Diego at least, and in some other markets, we've started to see like the housing market slow down a little bit.
Yeah, just a little dip. That's pretty awesome.
And that's one of the unique things about the recession is, they talk about the Great Depression.
Yeah.
That was one of the times in history where the most self-made millionaires were made. But it's
Get that bread.
yeah, and just capitalizing on opportunity, right? Because whenever there's something big in the market like this that changes, it's not necessarily about like what are you doing currently, it's how do you adapt. And really that's even true when running a business or starting a business, because your consumers are going to change, your clientele is going to change, your product changes, and it's like how can you react and adapt, and then also what do you have on hand. So it's been kind of cool to see, I think, because everybody was like, oh, you can never buy, this is a terrible market. But again, like I also see people right now that bought 2 years ago, and I was like, they said the same thing then. And then I'm looking at people who bought 2 years before that were saying the same thing then. I was like, it just seems like it's always kind of a good time to buy as long as you know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it definitely, there's a lot that goes into like purchasing like assets like that, especially like a house. Like there's so much that goes into it. Like understanding where your market is, like where you're in San Diego, like figuring out where like the cheaper parts of San Diego are. So like obviously like we live in San Diego, so obviously the average price is close to like this $700K mark. So you got to realize exactly like where you're going to purchase and invest your money, and then figure out exactly what you want that investment for. Like, is that an investment property, or is that more of for like you just living in? Like there's a lot that goes into it. So
yeah. And you bring up a good point, because this is one of me and my other coworkers were talking about, is when you do make a decision such as purchasing a home, whether it be multifamily / multi-unit, right, or single family, are you buying it as an asset, or are you buying it as like a home that you're going to live in? So because it's like a car, it could be seen as like a depreciating asset. So you know what I mean? And it's like the home technically depreciates as well. They break down the cost of the home and say technically it's going to depreciate over the next 27 years. But the market makes it appreciate for the most part. Most housing markets go up depending on where you live at. But I think just knowing what you're buying the house for, and then that's going to affect also the way that you purchase it, right? Like the different loans you could use, the different amounts you can put down. But that's going to change the way that you, 1, leverage the property, 2, leverage your money, and then 3, like maybe what you're doing with the long term with it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one of those things where you definitely got to sit down and depending on like, obviously if you're investing it with yourself or with your partner or with a friend, like you got to sit down and figure out finances and figure out what type of loans you're going to get into. What are some of the loans?
Yeah, there's a couple of I guess, common ones. There's a lot that I'm even unfamiliar with, right? But
Yeah.
I guess the big three in our area of San Diego that we commonly see is you have your conventional, you have your FHA, and then you have like your VA loan.
Yeah.
I say VA loan as a common one because we do live next to some of the biggest military bases in the country.
Yeah.
You have Pendleton, Miramar, Coronado. So we do have a lot of military around us. But so when you look at the conventional, it's typically you put like 20% down, which does help you get out of like a lot of times mortgage insurance. So that lowers your monthly payment, but you have to just put more up front. But it shows banks that you have money to put down, so they're more willing to work with you because there's a little bit of less risk for them because they see that you have money in the deal as well.
Yeah. If you put in 140K down, bro, I give you the money.
Exactly.
Clearly, you got the money. So,
and then you have your FHA loan. So that's where you could put down as low as 3.5%.
Yeah.
That one, you typically have to have mortgage insurance on it, though, until you pay back a certain level of equity. Most people still that I see use that still tend to put down a little bit more than 3.5, whether get the payment a little lower, get the banks work with them a little better. And then you have your VA loan, which is not only is it a loan for like military veterans, but I think the cool thing about it is that it's like backed. It's like insured by the government. So that's why banks are willing to do it, because the government's saying like, hey,
it's their money they're paying for it. They're literally it's coming out of their pocket.
Yeah, it's not like the bank's like fronting it. Like the government is supporting that loan.
Yeah.
Or they're insuring the loan.
Yeah.
Is a more accurate way to put it. And you could put as low as $0 down.
Yeah. And the good thing about the VA loan too is like that's a loan like you can continuously use. Like not like back to back where like, hey, like I'm go buy a house with the VA home loan and I go buy another house like directly the next day, but you can still utilize your VA home loan even after you bought in a house. So like if you want to purchase another house in, I think it's a year time frame, you have to live within at least your home for at least a year in order to like re-qualify for another VA home loan. So that's like a great thing for people that don't, or it's something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's either you need to live in the house for at least a year or you need to have a vacant person in that house for at least a year.
So let me backpedal a little bit as well. So an FHA loan and a VA loan, those loans will be qualified only, for the most part, if you're using those homes as your primary residence. Whereas a conventional loan, you have a freedom to rent that out right away and not be your primary residence and things of that nature. You have to prove, or at least try to like your utmost and prove that you tried to live in the homes if you do an FHA or a VA loan.
For at least a year.
For at least a year, correct, yeah. That way they think that you're not using it as like an investment property. Yeah. Which
I am. I know, but I'm not doing that.
But to your point, so I might be wrong on this, but I think I have heard of people doing this, and I think you're totally allowed to do it. So you as like a military veteran, so you could use like a conventional loan
and then
do like a rental property, and then you could do a VA loan on your own property.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, whatever you want to do. Yeah. So you could do on the FHA loan and the VA loan, you can use that as quote unquote traditional financing for properties up, even in multifamily properties up to a triplex. So you can get a 1-bedroom, a 2-unit condo, a 3-unit like condo or triplex, and you would still qualify under traditional financing. You don't have to get a commercial financing loan.
And now I got passive income because
you can rent out the other 2 units.
Exactly.
And then after a year, move out.
There you go. And then now I still got a property over there making me money.
Exactly.
Yeah, but where are you going to find a triplex at? And how much does a triplex usually cost?
So it depends on the market you're in. We have seen in the last like 2 years.
We saw one for like
in San Diego multi-unit
for like $1 million, right?
Well, we actually saw one in Vista. It was a 2-unit, right?
Oh yeah.
I think we did see a triplex that was now 700, but we saw a 2-unit in the 600s, and that's in San Diego.
I remember that one.
Again, you have to look at all this, right? So I don't even know how we got down, like if you're looking at it as an investment property or not. That was what we were looking at it for at the time. But again, when we're talking those dollar amounts, there's probably an investor on the other side of the camera like, I wouldn't buy a multi-unit for that much if it was only 2 units. You have to look at the rent in your market and what it rents for in your
100%.
area, because you have a renting market and you also have a buying market, like a housing buying and selling market, right? The real estate market.
And plus, like, you got to realize exactly, like, even if we are buying a 600K, like, dual unit, like, you don't know exactly how much we're putting down. That's going to, one, affect that mortgage, like, drastically, depending on, like, how much we're putting down. And then, again, we're renting out these rooms, and, again, it's going to be passive income, and it's not going to be grands, but it could be hundreds.
Yeah, it could be. And that's where it comes back to initially. So we were talking about like the housing market kind of slowing down and people wondering, well, what's causing it to slow down?
Yeah.
Is increase in interest rates.
Yeah.
That can create a unique change to the financing of the deal.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe if it was a year ago at that same price point, but it was 3% lower interest rate, like that was a better deal then.
Even now, like, if you think about it, like a 700K house, and then now you have like 6% interest on it. Now you're paying what, 42K on a house? Well,
then you're going to get financed into the
with
loan.
interest. Yeah. So now it's an additional 42K versus what if you paid 740K before for a 2% interest. So realistically, I mean, it comes out to being the same.
Yeah.
In the long run, it comes out to being the same.
Like you wanting that house at 680.
Yeah.
Or we'll just call it 7. Having that same house at 700,000 at 2% versus now. Versus 700,000 at 6%. Like that's a huge difference, right?
Well, yeah, that's a huge difference for sure. I was talking about the housing like value decreasing a little bit. So like not it being at 7 anymore, but it's at like 680 now. Yeah. And at 6% versus 700 at 2%.
Well, even with that, I mean, we're not going to see some huge price dips. It's just like you're having less bidding between the like buyer and seller. Like they're not saying like, oh, you're not paying me 50,000 over asking price. It's like the houses are staying on market a little longer because now people are being a little pickier. But what's really like, it's not going to decrease at the moment because when you just look at the supply and demand, they're not building enough homes quick enough, right? Like,
well, wasn't it in San Diego? Didn't you say like we were talking about this like a couple of weeks ago? San Diego had the first time where there was more supply than demand.
Over in that week. Well, so and not even not inventory. So you have your inventory, and then you have houses that go on the market every week, and then you have houses that are sold every week, and then enter a sale process every week.
So there was more houses on the market.
No, entering the market.
Got it.
Then we're leaving the market that particular week, but we still had thousands of homes in supply, but it was still relatively low.
Sheesh.
So,
wow. This is the guy you got to go to. For
No.
He knows it all.
I know people who know things.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If you could pick a state to invest your money's worth, where would you pick?
So it depends on again, your investment. Do you want like a short buy and flip? Do you want a long-term buy and hold?
Let's go for both.
Do you want to, so again, let's
go quick.
Well, hold up. So this is important, right? Next statement. Are you buying as an investment? So if it's an investment property for monthly cash flow or long-term appreciation, because that will depend greatly on where I would purchase.
Again, I said let's go both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go for one for quick monthly income or like a quick refinance and flip.
Well, you have great markets, so like Indianapolis, where you have a relatively low home sales price with a decent average rental cost. Like, you could have a mortgage for $1,000 or less, where you have an average rent $1,500 or more in that area.
Yeah.
So obviously you're probably going to have to say that of that like $500 over your 60% of that might be going towards maintenance and property management fees when it's all said and done at the end of the year. Maybe obviously renovations as well, because also if you're buying at a lower cost home, you also have to think about that. How much work do you want to hire out of state contractors to work on it, or do you want to buy a turnkey home? Yeah, a home that you could rent tomorrow. So that's something you want to think about as well. Maybe 60% was a little high, right? Yeah. But again, you want to plan for these things. So a place like Indianapolis would be great for monthly cash flow, especially because it's such a lower barrier to entry. When you think about purchasing a home, you could buy, $140,000, $200,000 home in Indianapolis that could be relatively turnkey depending on the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And when we talked about your cost of purchase, like, so you could put 10, 20% down, more if you want to, right? So, and then there's other areas where you could purchase for more long-term appreciation. We saw what happened the last year, 2 years in places like Austin and Dallas. You know, if you had the money for it and put 20% down on a $300 home in Austin, do you know what that would have appreciated over the last year or two?
Sheesh.
Like you have major jobs entering the area that, like, if you have Tesla, you have Google, they want their employees, so they want to attract the smartest individuals on the planet to come work for them. It's not always going to be money that does that, but it's going to be their salary mixed with where they're living. They want them to have a home, have kids. They don't want these young geniuses who work for them for 4 or 5 years and they're like, well, I want more than this, and then all of a sudden they go work for someone else for a little better standard of living. So you've seen Tesla leave Silicon Valley, and now they're in Texas.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of appreciation in places where you see a lot of increase in jobs. So a long-term hold, I would look for places that are having increase in population density, increase in workforce, job opportunities. Places with is another thing that I look at when it comes to both these options for appreciation or cash flow. I look at like major shipping hubs. What type of activities are going around in that area? Is this a place where people live? Is it business professionals? Is it college students? This is stuff that you got to look at when you're looking at these two different type of investment strategies.
Nice. Yeah. Seems like obviously you need to do your research before you start getting into investing in houses, and my boy has done his research.
Yeah, but don't let it be paralysis by analysis either. Like, obviously, you want to make a decision that's educated. To talk about what I initially said when we started, is all about knowing your entrance strategy, your exit strategy. What is this property for? Is it an investment? Is it for you to live with your family? You need to be aware of these things, right? Because if I'm going to live in a home for the next 3 to 5 years, that's going to be a long-term home that I want probably to appreciate, which in most housing markets it will. So yeah, do your research, know what you're buying the home for, and don't over leverage yourself. It's probably one of the biggest things I see is a lot of people are, when it comes to the fear aspect, when people are talking about the housing market, is they're afraid to buy a home because when the housing price bubble popped like in 2008, a lot of people had loans that they were over leveraged. They probably shouldn't have owned these homes. They had a lot of money going into other like things as well. Like they just didn't have a lot of cash on hand. They didn't have a lot of like savings. They didn't have high income like jobs. So debt to income ratio
was way off.
It was really off for a lot of these people. So just maybe make that sound decision too. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Another thing I would say, so since we're in like, we're quote unquote entering a recession, I would look at markets that look like, quote unquote recession proof, or they have a great defense plan around recession. So you look at places that have low cost of living with, maybe, what's the word I'm looking for? It's, like when you have extra spending money, disposable income. Oh, okay. So places with low cost of living with high paying jobs that could provide disposable income, because those type of markets are going to do really well.
Got it. Nice. There you go.
Oh yeah, but you buying a home or what? What's happening?
Jeez. No, I mean, I would love to buy a home. Again, I would love to buy a home. Again, it doesn't look, as of where it stands right now, one, financially, like, I can't afford a home in California. Like, I don't have $800K in revenue or like money to go throw in a house like that. So yeah, I definitely would love to invest in a home. Probably, again, like if I'm gonna, my first home wouldn't be like a forever home. Mm-hmm. It'd definitely be more of an investment property. And use like the Burr method and stuff that we talked about. Mm-hmm. So like if I'm going to invest in places, obviously I'm probably going to pick places like Nashville, like Tennessee is one of those places that has very like low cost of living, but is one of those places that's more population dense. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are going to Nashville now. Same thing with like Dallas or like Texas. Again, low cost of living. A lot of people are moving over to Dallas. A lot of big investment companies and a lot of firms are going into Dallas and to Austin area. So stuff like that. And Indiana, like you said, is a great place. We looked into Indiana, but I just don't see myself like investing in Indiana. Like I don't see me ever like personally going over to Indiana and checking out that property or like even going to see like stop into Indiana. Like I just don't see myself being over there. Like Nashville, I'd probably go visit Nashville like once in a while and I go check on my property. Dallas, I go to Dallas and check on my property. Colorado, like is one of those places that's damn near turning into California. Like it's so like the cost of living in Colorado is becoming so increased over like the last couple of years where it just financially doesn't make sense for me to go over to Colorado unless I'm going to live outside of any of like the more like urban places. Like if I want to go to like a rural spot in Colorado, then like I'm probably going to get a cheaper home. But then again, like now I got to drive 20 to 30 minutes to do anything that I would enjoy other than snowboarding. You feel me?
What I do like about what you said is it's not your forever home. If you think you want to get into the real estate world, you want to own a home as an investor, that is 100% the thought process you should have.
No.
Because you get so much momentum, and it's literally, I've heard the guys on Bigger Pockets talk about it. Like it's just a snowball.
Just think of like how much money that, well, not like how much of a bigger impact you could put into the next house if you had 20 extra grand.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's so many options once you have the one property that then become available to you. You know, you have cash out refinances where you can keep that property, pull out money, put that on your next property. I can sell, and if the code is right, it's like a 1051 exchange. When I sell my property, I could take my equity that I had in that and just tax free and put it into the next
property. Like that's crazy.
You know, so now you have this giant quote unquote down payment that was untaxed because what you're doing is you're deferring the tax later because now you're rolling more money into the next property that they quote unquote might not have been able to like purchase without that.
Yeah.
So you have cash out refinances, you have like 1051 exchanges, I believe it is.
That sounds right.
There's that. You have HELOCs where you can take a line of credit on your home. So it's like you're getting a loan from for your home, like home value. So you have that, and there's tons of options that become open to you once you start the momentum. You have your assets making money. They're valued at something. That's one of the unique things about real estate is because you do over so many years of history outside of that time from 2008 to really like 15 that homes lost value.
Yeah.
But even then again, like if you had bought a home in 2008 and you're like, I'm gonna have this home for the next 5-10 years, that wouldn't have affected you that much as long as you weren't over leveraged. So, but yeah, to think about like, okay, this is my thing. I think, again, over at Bigger Pockets, they call it the stack method. It's like, okay, I buy this. This will allow me to do this next time, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do this.
Yeah.
It's not about this is the end-all, be-all. Nobody became financially free or maybe changed their life because they bought one property. Now, again, if you want a property to take care of you and your family, that's great. But if you want to do something to create financial freedom, this deal sets you up for your next one or your next one. And to what you were saying, if you want to live in California, like there's still options. Like you can buy a condo, like in markets like San Diego that have crazy appreciation.
That condo is literally going to make you bread.
Yeah, there were condos 3 years ago for $400K that are now $600K.
Bro, exactly, for a condo. That looks basically like an apartment.
Yeah, so
that's wild.
Which some people are like, I don't want to pay that much for a condo, but again,
if it's a way to get your foot in the door, and like you know that you're gonna live in San Diego for another like 2-3 years. Yeah. Anyway, like why not get an extra?
Yeah, and pay down your mortgage.
Yeah, and pay down my mortgage
rather than paying someone else rent.
Exactly.
If the deal makes sense to you, if the 100%. Finance makes sense to you. Again, this isn't for everybody. Some people don't want to, and sometimes it doesn't make sense to do it.
Some people don't have the cash flow to. There it is.
That's true. There's a lot, like there's some people who cannot buy in San Diego. Just they would not have the prerequisite debt to income ratio to support the loans.
They just can't have it.
So. No, even on a VA, right?
Yeah, even on a VA, and again, they just won't approve you for like that $500K home if your debt to income ratio is just not there. Like again, like it's a 0 down loan, but you got to think of it like there's perks to that, and then there's also like downfalls to that. Like 0 down loan, now I'm paying my full mortgage is $3,000 now because I didn't put any down on a $500K home. Like, so yeah, you got to think about stuff like that. And then now, if you're working a minimum wage job, or even not even minimum wage, if you're working like that job that equate to you having enough debt to income for that house, they're not going to approve you for that. So you got to take that into consideration too.
For sure. One thing I will say before we get off this topic, neither one of us are experts.
Yeah.
Neither one of us are real estate agents.
I don't know a damn thing. I just know I got the best university, and that's Google University. You feel me?
There are tons of experts. If you're interested in real estate, I highly recommend you reaching out to a local real estate agent, checking out maybe Bigger Pockets.
You just shout out another podcast on here?
No, their website. They have other forums of free education.
I was about to kick them off.
Talk to me, your boy. But but again, I know very little in this space. I'm passionate about developing myself. But
do you know what we do know a little bit more than real estate in?
Start with an F?
Fitness. So it's time for the 5-minute fitness tip where we know a little bit more than we do in real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all that other stuff, not a recommendation, not advice.
I can tell you some stuff about fitness. That's for sure.
But with this 5-minute fitness tip right here, listen close.
Listen close. I already forgot it.
See, bro? Well, since we were talking about your tattoos earlier and how they're from Egypt, this is how this always reminds me of the term.
What are we talking about?
Tut. You know the Pharaoh Tut?
Uh-huh.
So Tut,
when
it comes to fitness, stands for time under tension.
That's what we're talking about. Time under tension. And that is a sweet workout to do. I love time under tension.
So when it comes to time under tension, we're going to be breaking down kind of where this comes from is when you are doing specifically resistance training, you're usually going to take the muscle fiber through like 3 different phases. Yeah. You have the concentric motion that it's going to be doing. You have the eccentric motion it's going to be doing. And then you also have isometric. So we could also call this loading. So you have concentric loading, eccentric loading, and then isometric loading.
If you didn't know, that was me. Eccentric, concentric, isometric, holding that thing right there.
Jeez.
You feel me? That python.
So places where you would see this are, so in the bicep.
Everything.
Oh, everything.
Yeah,
everything
is going to have that.
Resistance training where it's you're
contracting and elongating the muscle that's going to have that.
Yeah, against the load or against gravity. So a lot about this, and a lot of people miss isometric loading. Where could you isometric load?
So you isometric load in your squat. Like that's one of the most like places that a lot of people I see isometric load on. Is they're just sitting down in that squat and they're just holding that bad boy and then explode up.
Yeah. Or what I really like to do with it is if you have sticking points,
bench.
Seen a lot of strength and conditioning coaches do this. Like they'll use a piece of equipment like a bench. So where the bar is in a fixed position, it like literally can't move. So maybe like a Smith machine or something.
Yeah.
And they go into a full contraction, like press, like isometric load there.
Yeah.
Because they literally can't push through it. Like it's in a locked fixed position. But now you have a safe place where you can do a maximal output, right? Because you can push that bar as hard as you want. It is not moving. It's not dropping on you. That way that you get that nice isometric load. But the thing where we're really talking about, again, time under tension today, is we're focusing on the eccentric motion of this movement. So if you take a dumbbell curl, if you would be so kind, Sean. So right now, he's in a contracted motion.
Yes, sir.
So when you are lowering that curl most of the time, go ahead, that's the eccentric motion. You're starting to elongate and stretch that muscle fiber while still resisting gravity, holding that weight.
That's when we want to have that time under tension.
That is where studies have shown you're doing the most. I'm saying most because contracting still does damage to the muscle fiber. Eccentric motion does the most damage. And that's where we see so many people rushing all the time through the reps.
Exactly.
Where the true like cue that I would look for is a 4-second countdown. So,
bro, if you see someone, for example, if you see someone like curling 100s for like just reps, but then you see someone concentrating 100s, that motherfucker's probably way stronger than the dude repping 100s.
100% every time. And that's what I look for when like I notice that somebody's like really strong, and you could tell like when you see them, like, and most of the time when you watch them do their workout, you're like, that makes sense why they look like that. Exactly. Now is they have that nice, like, it's like that firm strength, like that,
Yeah.
like
that's legitimate strength
that
And then
developed
there's, like,
muscle.
Yeah, and then there's like quick explosive like power that you have.
Yeah.
And I feel like I developed like I feel like for example like if I'm having problems sticking out of my bench and like I'm stuck right here, but I'm naturally pushing like 315 easy from right here, like versus the dude that's controlling 315, like I feel like he's way stronger for sure.
Yeah, and it's just it's where like okay, you have a workout, and then these people have taken the time to really like break down their muscle, but also to learn the movement. They've practiced that movement now.
Yeah.
They have control of that weight throughout the whole range of motion. Whereas when people bang it out like this, like there's a lot of momentum there.
Yeah.
Like, are they really that strong in that range of motion?
And like you gotta remember, like one, you're getting like you gotta focus on all that negative. Like we constantly focus on like that explosive straight out power, and we never focus on the negative back down. And that's where a lot of that power comes into.
the strongest guys I know train like that. The people who are in the best shape usually train like that, because think about it, not only are you burning calories longer, because now these reps are going to take longer, but you're sending a more optimal signal to that muscle group.
Yeah. And then I think during those phases is like when you are doing that time under attention, that's when you start like tapping into some of those like stabilizer muscles that you normally wouldn't tap into.
Oh, for sure.
So like if you're doing, again, we're going to talk about tempo. So like a 4-2-1 tempo, like if you're constantly just doing a nice 4-2-1, bro, you're hitting one, you're going to get those primary movers, but you're also going to get those stabilizer muscles that normally don't get.
So 4-2-1, we've got the 4-second eccentric. Can you break down the other two for me?
So 4-2-1 is a nice, 4-second eccentric. So 4-3-2-1, a nice hold for 2 on the isometric, and then explode up for 1.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, 4-2-1.
Hey, that's different than the way I do it.
Right?
Yeah, I do the 4, I do 1, and I do 1-2.
Oh, I do it.
Yeah. Yo, I wish I could get 315 on my chest in one. God damn. Hey, we got Superman over here.
I'm just, that's how I do my 4-2-1s. Everyone's different. He does his that way. I do mine that way. So I do 4 on the eccentric, 2 on the isometric, and then 1 on the contraction.
Yeah, and bro, a 2-second hold at the bottom of a bench, like that's competitive. Like that's literally like, so again, if you're like
combine lifting, you have to hold for at least like a good minute.
Yeah, like
it's a good couple seconds.
Like if you look at like a powerlifting competition and you see someone bench press, like you see them get that pause, like they have to wait to be told to press again.
Yeah.
So sure, you're like, oh yeah, I could bench 315. Not like that.
Not like that. Not if you're not taking that the momentum and that power out of it from you just dropping the weight back down and pushing it back up. Like, bro, that's completely different beast.
And that's the difference, because there are some reflex capabilities of the muscle, right?
Yeah.
And then like, people bouncing it off their fucking chest.
Yeah.
But again, people say touch the chest.
Yeah.
But same with the squat. Like you'll see people bottom out of a squat.
Yeah.
Like you'll see people really controlled, hit 90 degrees. You'll see people go like all the way ass to grass, controlled as well. But then when you see people try to like go below 90, like as fast as possible and bounce back up, like I've seen that stuff too. I'm like, yo,
just
do you know how much like glute and hamstring activation you'd have down there?
Bro, if you held that, bro, yeah, you're just getting all that pelvic tilt, and you're just ruining that whole workout for basically. Sure. And then same thing for like, again, we were talking about the isometric holds on like sticky places to get out to. Like again, like I've heavy loaded my isometric squats before, where it's just I get stuck at 90, and I preset the bar at like where I'm at 90 with the box. So it's like a box squat, but and then I just explode from that 90. So there's some whole bunch of different ways to utilize that. So
yeah, and a lot of tools that you can use. So again, I would just kind of say slow it down. More often than not, most people are going too quick than too slow. Yeah. So look at your time under tension.
Look at your form.
And then I was gonna say something else, but I totally fucking forgot it.
Understand your tempo.
I guess understand your tempo
and focus on the negative.
Don't just work out to break a sweat. Yeah. Work out to train. Okay. Work out to practice.
I get.
I know there's an end result we're all looking for, but hopefully this is a lifestyle change. That's my kind of go-to.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're working out, you definitely got to focus, get your mind away from 5x5s and reps and not doing proper form, and try to switch it up and do some time under tension. A lot of people don't realize that you will gain a lot of strength from time under retention and a lot of muscle mass from time under retention. A lot of people think that you just got to do the 5x5s and that's how you get it.
I mean, but if you're also the same thing though, if you're not doing the 5x5s.
Exactly. If you're not doing the 5x5s.
And you've just been doing the 3x10s.
Yeah, you've just been doing 3x10s of time under retention. Go switch it up.
Go do a 5x5 with some time under retention. It'll send a different signal to your central nervous system.
Complete different
Guaranteed.
monster, bro. 5x5 of time under retention, that's a monster. Good luck with that. Well,
that's our 5-minute fitness tip.
That was the episode. Hope y'all stuck in there with us. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And come holler at us next week. And hustle is the only controllable pillar of success. I almost forgot about that, but I never forget to hustle.
Woo.